What's up YouTube? This is the Pro Fight Fan and welcome to my channel where we talk all things fighting. Today I'm going to be breaking down Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier and we're starting right now. Now, before getting started, I would greatly appreciate it if you would help out the channel by smashing that like button and subscribing. Alright, we finally received a confirmation that the second fight between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier has officially been finalized. The two are going to square off on January 23rd, and according to Dana White, they'll be fighting on Fight Item. There's been a bit of drama associated with this fight being made. Some would state that the UFC was looking to possibly move on to Justin Gaethje facing Conor McGregor, but it seems that cooler heads have prevailed, and here we are. Now, we all know that in their first meeting, Conor McGregor would go on to TKO Dustin in the first round at the featherweight limit. Will this fight be any different? Let's break it down. This breakdown will be based on each fighter's progression since their first fight 6 years ago, including their experience, fighting style, and how the fight may play out. Starting with the diamond. Dustin Poirier's overall record is 26-6, and since his loss to McGregor, Dustin would go on to move up to lightweight, where he's 10-2 with 1 no contest. He has 5 KOs or TKOs, 1 submission, and 4 decisions. His 2 losses were against Khabib Nurmagomedov, where he would lose by rear naked choke in September 2019, and to Michael Johnson in September of 2016, where he would get KO'd in the first round. Wait a second, didn't his loss to McGregor come in September also? All right, so Dustin, if you're watching this, never fight in the month of September again. Anyway, Dustin has had notable wins over Max Holloway, whom he would beat by unanimous decision, Eddie Alvarez, who he would TKO in the second round of their matchup, and a back-and-forth war with Justin Gaethje, whom he would TKO in the 4th round. Most recently, Dustin would go on to beat the very dangerous Dan Hooker in another fight of the night performance by unanimous decision. Since their first meeting, Conor McGregor would go on to become the featherweight champ after knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds and the UFC's first champ after his flawless TKO of then lightweight champ Eddie Alvarez. He would go on to amass a UFC record of 6-2 with 5 KOs or TKOs and 1 decision. His 2 losses would be submission losses to Nate Diaz and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Conor would go on to avenge his loss to Nate Diaz later that year by majority decision. While Dustin's longest layoff from the octagon in the last 6 years has been around 8 months, Conor has had a couple of long layoffs from the octagon. After winning the lightweight title in November of 2016, Conor would have an almost 2-year hiatus from the octagon before returning to face Khabib in October of 2018. He would fight Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match in August of 2017, which he would go on to lose by TKO in the 9th round. After losing to Khabib, he would have another 1 year and 3-month layoff before returning to annihilate Donald Cerrone in 40 seconds. When Dustin and Conor meet in January of 2021, Conor would have been out of the cage for over a year for the 3rd time since 2016. So in terms of activity, Dustin has been the busier man, maintaining a consistent fight schedule. However, while Conor may have been out of the cage for long periods of time, he has shown to have been able to stay in excellent physical condition and has showed 0 signs of ring rust in his return to the octagon the last time he was out for over a year. I personally don't believe that Conor's inactivity will be a factor in the rematch with Poirier. Since having lost to McGregor in 2014, Dustin has strictly fought at 155 pounds and has really shown his frame to be well suited for the division. Poirier has shown a lot of improvements in his striking and defensive awareness since his first bout with Conor, Dustin has shown an ability to establish range much better as opposed to just lunging in with power with a much improved jab. Dustin's always feinting to draw out counters and will also strike in between side steps to confuse his opponents. Another very effective tool that the Diamond uses is his switch stance strikes. So Dustin, oftentimes he'll throw a jab, he's going to follow with a straight left, and instead of resetting, he'll allow his momentum to bring his rear leg with him, and now he'll follow up with the right hand from the orthodox stance. One of the biggest improvements, again, has been his defense. Dustin often employs what's called a stonewall guard, where he'll deflect many of his opponent's shots with his forearm or elbow while keeping his chin tucked behind his shoulder, rolling with shots. Max Holloway even mentions to his corner in between rounds in their fight how,
"Gotta let it go, okay?
Blocking weird."
Now, since beating the Diamond in 2014, McGregor would go on to continue to show his precision striking, excellent vision, and reflexes. McGregor has beautiful counter striking as well, as he's able to just get out of the way of shots by slipping and making his opponents pay. In every fight, with the exception of his fight with Khabib and Cerrone, McGregor hurts his opponents badly with his left hand. The only opponent able to absorb the damage was Nate Diaz, but he was rocked and even knocked down twice in their second fight. Cerrone was hurt by McGregor, but it was his hip, his shoulder, and his head kick that did a majority of the damage. Conor has shown if he touches you, it's going to make a big impact. Against Khabib, Conor showed an excellent ability to fight the takedown. Now, ultimately, Khabib does what Khabib does, but many would argue that McGregor showed he has the ability to keep the fight standing against a lesser capable grappler. Statistically speaking, Dustin lands 5.57 significant strikes per minute with a 50% striking accuracy, and he absorbs 3.69 significant strikes per minute. Now, Conor lands 5.43 significant strikes per minute with a 49% striking accuracy and absorbs 4.40 significant strikes per minute. Before getting the actual numbers, I would have thought that Dustin absorbs more strikes per minute because of his back and forth affairs, but I think that's probably due to the fact that McGregor seems to wear the damage better. Now, in terms of grappling, Dustin has a 1.46 takedown average per 15 minutes with a takedown accuracy of 35% and a takedown defense of 60%. Conor has a takedown defense of 70%, and although he doesn't really look to take the fight to the ground, he has a takedown average of 0.75 per 15 minutes with a takedown accuracy of 62%. In terms of height and reach, things clearly haven't changed, with both fighters listed at 5'9", while Conor has a slight reach advantage at 74 inches to Dustin's 72. As stated earlier, Dustin has adapted well to the 155-pound weight limit, and he has stated how it has seemingly gotten harder and harder to make the weight limit, but he's still able to do so. Conor has fought as high as 170 pounds on 3 occasions and hasn't had to make the 155-pound weight limit for over 2 years. And from the pictures that he's shown on social media, he's added some muscle to his frame. Now, will he struggle to make the weight limit for the lightweight division? I guess we'll have to wait and see. The question is, how do things play out? Although we haven't seen McGregor as often these past few years as we have Poirier, he has shown quite often to be one of the most, if not the most dangerous fighter in the UFC in the first couple of rounds when he's facing a fellow striker. As we saw in his last fight against Cerrone, he comes out guns blazing, and I don't think we'll see anything different in this fight in terms of his aggression. Dustin has shown that he can come out slow at times like he did against Dan Hooker, and other times he'll come out landing big shots like he did against Holloway and Alvarez. I can see McGregor coming out with a blitz and Dustin being much more aware of it and trying to stay away from the power left by circling to McGregor's right and using his stonewall guard to avoid punishment and possibly trying to engage in some clinch work and trying to press Conor up against the cage to minimize Conor's ability to hit him on the end of his shots. If he's able to get this fight into the second or third rounds, I can see McGregor getting tired and Dustin taking over late. However, getting out of the first and second rounds without getting hurt is no easy task against McGregor. Dustin gets hit, and we see him hurt against Hooker. Against Holloway, there was a flash knockdown. Against Gaethje, he was hurt a couple of times. While he has shown a better capability of getting hurt and coming back, Conor's not the guy that you want to hurt you. I can definitely see Conor hurting Dustin early and taking him out again in the rematch. But will making 155 pounds prove to be difficult for McGregor and negatively impact his already infamous gas tank? Or will Conor come out guns blazing and take Dustin out? That's the question for this fight. Has Dustin improved enough to where he can avoid damage and tire McGregor out into the later rounds? I think that Dustin definitely has the capability to do so. The problem is going to be making sure that he doesn't receive damage early, because again, McGregor has the power to stop him. Do me a favor, comment down below who you think is going to win this rematch. And make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as it does help the channel. I'm the Pro Fight Fan. I'm signing out, and I'll see you in the next one.